Hello and welcome to Bitunix, the world's fastest growing crypto and derivatives exchange. Today, I want to show you the advanced capabilities of our charts and how you can play around with them and customize them to however you want. So first, let's go over to the top left where we can select either the futures tab or the spot tab. Both of these tabs are populated with a chart. So whatever you're trading, spot or futures, you can customize the chart to however you like. So the first thing I want to note here is you can make the chart as big or as small as you want. Personally, I like it to take a majority of the screen, so I'll leave it like this. Now on the chart itself, you can actually select the layout and put multiple different charts on the screen. So you can have Bitcoin here, and then if you select this chart, you can put Ethereum on this side. This is great if you're trading both of these coins and you want to be informed on their price at the same time. You can actually select up to 8 different charts at the same time, which is pretty crazy. So let's go with just Bitcoin for now, and I want to show you a few things that you can do on here. So it is worth noting that this is a very standard chart right now, where the green candles are bullish upward price moves, the red candles are downward price moves, but in settings right here, you're able to select the colorway that fits you best. Now these candles are pretty standard as well, and if you go up here on the right side of the time intervals, you're actually able to change what the candles look like. So you can actually make it a simple line like this. This will get rid of the wicks. So you see how on the candles, price wicks all the way down to 91,000. Well, if you go on the line chart, you'll see price stops at 94,000. This is because the candle body closed around this price and it does not take in account of wicks. Now, it is worth noting that this has its advantages, because if you draw a trend line like this, you can see that price actually used the candle bodies as support a few times, like so. And you can see we're currently testing that right now. So that's the line chart. There's also other things you can choose, like hollow candles. Hollow candles keeps the red candles solid, and the bullish candles, the green candles, will be hollow. You can also change it to something like a bar chart. This is pretty common in the stock market. A lot of people like these. It just gives you a basic price chart with the opening and closes. And so people like this. It also doesn't really account for the wicks, and you can't really see where the price closes as well, but you can see the open here and the close here. So some people like this more simplified version. For me, not really, but again, you have a ton of options right here, so play around with that and see what fits for you. Personally, I just like the candle chart. Next, in the top left of the chart, you can see that there's a ton of different intervals ranging from 1 minute all the way to 8 hours. And if you click this little downward tab right here, you can actually get 12 hours, daily, 3-day, 1 week, and all the way up to a month. So you can only select 10 at once, which is great. But if you wanted to get rid of a few of these, you can just add more options up there, and these will permanently stay up there, so you can quickly check those. So here's our daily chart. Next, I want to talk about basic supports and resistance on this chart, and this is where our tools can come into play. So we have a ton of tools on the left side, so we can draw on the chart, we can write text on the chart if we wanted to. We can measure certain moves down. So this gives you all the tools you need to be a successful trader on the chart. So one thing you can do is you can use a horizontal ray like this, and you can look and you can mark that this area right here has been acting as support, meaning this is an area where price consistently bounces from. And if you wanted to take it a step further, you can go to the drawing tab and scroll down to rectangle, and you can mark the entire area. So as you can see, some of the wicks went all the way to the bottom of this box. So support would not be considered lost unless it fully closed below this box and flipped the support like this. So that's just a basic thing that we can get right on our chart that gives us a lot of information. Next, we have a ton of indicators that we can choose from. So if you go on the right of the candle tab, we have this indicator tab right here, and we can search through a ton of indicators. So I'll give you a few of my favorites. So one of them is the RSI. I find this to be really good on the 4-hour time frame, and this measures the overboughtness or oversoldness of a chart. So as you can see on this big pump to our all-time high, we were pretty overbought right before it, meaning that the momentum kind of ran out and price moved down from there. On this huge fast flash crash, you can see that our indicator went down very, very sharply, and it went all the way down to 20, meaning this is a very oversold area, and we should be looking for buys in this area. And as you can see, it bounced from that. So if you had this indicator going, you would have been able to predict that pretty well. And if you had your support box drawn, it went right into support and then bounced up. Another indicator I like is the Bollinger Bands. So right there, this measures the momentum and volatility of price. So as you can see right now, the blue lines are pretty close to each other, indicating that we've been in this range, and whichever way price breaks out, whether it be to the upside or downside, of more violent move is probably in store. You can also see that price respects these lines. So as soon as it went into the blue lines up here, price rejected and went down to the bottom blue lines, which then acted as support. And so you can trade the ranges of these, and they're nice because they're not just straight line ranges. They actually fluctuate with price. And I think they use moving averages to calculate all of this. So if you want to keep this on your chart, you can. All your indicators will be up here on the top left. What you can do is you can hide them temporarily if you don't need them, and then turn them back on. Or if you just want to remove it, you can click the X right here. Lastly, I'll show you one more indicator, and that is the MACD, spelled just like this, MACD. And this measures momentum. So it's kind of similar to the RSI, where it measures oversold and overbought, but this adds a component of volume into it. And so you can see on this bigger dump, on the biggest candles, you can see we have larger downward volume right there. But at the very bottom, that turns from red to white, indicating that the downside volume has slowed down a lot. And you can see using these blue and orange lines that we were at the bottom of this range on the indicator around that price as well, and then price bounced up. So when price kind of goes sideways like this, it doesn't give us a lot of insight, but this is really good to use on like higher price areas too. Like when we pumped really hard into this all-time high, you can see that ever since 106K right here, the momentum really peaked, and then the rest of this price action, we actually went higher in price, but the momentum didn't go higher, meaning that the volume was not as strong to support the price at that time, and that led to the downward move. So these indicators are really, really good if you know what you're looking for. I encourage you to research them more on YouTube. Overall, Bitunix offers an amazing chart display, and it allows you to fully customize it and get all the indicators and tools you need to make the right decisions when you trade. So come trade with us at Bitunix, and we'll see you in the charts.